Hey guys, Nuzzel here and welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're going to be talking about Stevenhe's dad from the Stevenhe YouTube channel versus father from the Breadboys YouTube channel. If you're going to enjoy this video, then make sure to like and subscribe. If I sound off in this video, it's because I am sick for the millionth time this year. My immune system sucks balls. And if you want to know more about both of these YouTube channels, I'll leave a link in the description below to both of my videos on these two YouTube channels and also the end screen at the end as well, so that if you want to know how powerful the characters are from these YouTube channels, you can go and see. This video is also being recorded on the 7th of October 2022, so this video could very well be outdated depending on the content of these two uploads, so keep that in mind as the video goes on if you're watching this sometime in the future. And yeah, let's just get into it. Something I forgot to go over in the introduction is that I will be using both of these characters at the peak highball that you can give them. This not only makes it more funny, but it's also actually debatable if you take them both at their strongest. Going on to the topic of this though, Stevenhe's dad is capable of creating multiple infinity bags. Assuming these are literally infinity, this would make him low multiversal due to the fact he's able to create multiple infinities. As for father's strength and attack potency, he should upscale from Son due to being able to beat him in several of their encounters. Son is confident he can beat Goku in his Master Ultra Instinct form, who's capable of shaking an infinite realm despite not even being at full power. This therefore means that he's bare minimum high universal, however likely is low multiversal again, due to not only massively upscaling from this, but the fact that this void also does not have any time or space within it. This therefore means it's a bit hard to say who's stronger between father and Stevenhe's dad. While Stevenhe's dad has been able to create multiple infinities, and so far father's only shown being able to affect one infinity, it's a bit vague as to who's been stronger, because father is still massively stronger than this, as Goku alone is stronger than this at full power, and he upskills from someone who's already stronger than that, so I would argue that their power is a tie, but if I had to pick one that was stronger, I would pick Stevenhe's dad. When it comes to speed, and for Stevenhe's dad, he should be on par with, if not faster than, Steven himself, who's capable of reacting to his dad throwing a shoe at him, and considering the fact that his dad is capable of throwing shoe items literally through space-time and can hit people in the future and or past, this would mean that his son has quite literally immeasurable speed. As for father from the Breadboys YouTube channel, it says speed. He's capable of existing in between timelines where time doesn't exist, and is even capable of moving through them. If you're able to exist and move where time doesn't exist, that would also grant you completely immeasurable speed, meaning that they would be tied in terms of who would be faster. As for Stevenhe's dad's durability, it should roughly scale to his power. This is because he's able to easily take beatings from the likes of his wife, who should relatively scale to him in terms of power. As for father's durability, it should also scale to his attack potency. This is because he's able to take attacks from his son, who should be roughly as powerful as him, if not slightly weaker. This would mean that it's basically the same stories as with the attack potency, with both of them being really tied in terms of durability. However, if I, had a gun to my head and someone told me to pick someone to be more durable, I'd probably say Steven's dad. If you haven't already noticed by now, I am using YouTube subtitles as a way of proving my points. However, they are infamously quite inaccurate, so if you want to have more evidence for stuff, then go to their videos or just to my own videos of Stevenhe and the Breadboys, so then you can see what I mean, if that makes any sort of sense. So if you see something here that's different to what I'm saying, just know that I'm saying it correctly, the YouTube subtitles are just wrong. Anyways, for their abilities, weaponry, and techniques, Stevenhe's dad has good stamina, being able to walk 20 miles to get to school every day despite only having 1 foot. He's skilled in weapons as he has nunchucks and the slipper. He's capable of breaking the fourth wall, has non-physical interaction and possible immortality negation as he's capable of killing ghosts. He's an expert hunter and has possible stealth mastery as he hunts for his food every single day. He has statistics amplification, genius intellect, and time travel by drinking water. He also can get stronger by getting flashbacks. He has empathic manipulation and paralysis inducement, being able to install damage onto people emotionally and paralyze them in place. He has space-time manipulation or time travel, as he's capable of throwing a slipper through space-time to hit someone in the future or past. He has possible photographic memories. He can remember seemingly everything in his life. He has possible pain amplification, as he compares a spoon to a hammer. He has minor power bestowal, as he can bestow knowledge onto people. He has summoning, being able to summon a guitar to him. He's a skilled swimmer, being able to swim from China to the USA. He's a genius in intellect. He has power up, as with Asian power, he's capable of unlocking powers within him. He has self-sustenance, being able to live without oxygen. He can create explosions. He has some level of all-knowing knowledge related to Asians, as he scales to his mum, who knows when her son's using a calculator from ages away. He's skilled in hand-to-hand combat through being able to fight people at Pearl Harbor. He has stamina bestowal, being able to give people energy by hitting them. With preparation, he can create a drink which installs emotional damage onto people. He has awareness of the plot, which could possibly give him precognition, as he knows of the plot and knows that he'll win a Nobel Peace Prize in the future. He has an infinity bag. He has life manipulation and heat manipulation, as he can turn a chicken egg into a chicken. He has a slipper, nunchucks, and he has possible resurrection and immortality, being able to come back from the dead. With Beijing Corn, he's able to grant himself at higher levels of intellect. He also has teleportation with this as well. He has resistance to fire, illness, being able to drink water straight from a river with no consequences. His Slipper has resistance to physics and physics manipulation, as it isn't affected by physics. He has resistance to the cold, being able to play football in barefoot snow. He has resistance to empathic manipulation, as he came from a time where mental health didn't exist, and possibly has a resistance to reality warping, as he scales far higher than Timmy, who can manipulate reality. As for Father, he's skilled in sword fighting, being able to beat his son in sword combat. He has fourth wall awareness, he has teleportation, he has summoning, being able to summon crusaders to him. He has healing via a health potion, he's proficient in weapons, has immortality types 1, 4, and 5, being able to live for 700 years and comes back from being dead. He has fire manipulation, he has enhanced senses, being able to smell where Bob is, despite being like ages and ages away. He has BFR, being able to send people to the gulag and can teleport a group of people to him. He has Stealth Master, being able to stealth around his son. He's a skilled driver. He has possible existence erasure, being able to punch his son into nothingness. He has statistics amplification, as he can level up. He has dimensional travel, being able to travel to fictional worlds. He has preparation, being able to, give himself powers via the computer. He has weather manipulation, he can create illusions. He has time travel and time manipulation, being able to time travel diagonally. He has reality warping, as he's stated to have reality bending powers. He's also got a rifle, a long knife, a sword, a health potion, a shotgun, and army gear. He also has resistance to cold, being able to lie in the snow for long periods of time. He has resistance to minor sleep manipulation, as he can teleport while still asleep. He has resistance to existence erasure, as he comes back from being erased from existence. So I think that in terms of pure versatility, Stevenhe's dad has Father beat. However, Father is more versatile in his weapons, as not only does he just have more weapons, but he also has peak army gear. So I would argue Father has better weapons, but in terms of his better abilities, that is definitely up in the air. Both of them can time travel and can amplify their own powers. They both have some level of immortality and can also give themselves some pretty overpowered stuff. Like, for example, Father can give himself powers and outright travel to different dimensions. Meanwhile, Steven's father can paralyze people in place and, can kill ghosts. So I'd probably say that Father arguably has the better abilities, although it is realistically tied, and Stevenhe's dad is more versatile, while Father has better weapons. As for weaknesses, and Stevenhe's dad's only real weakness is that he's capable of recoiling when being exposed to failure. As for Father, meanwhile, he is susceptible to being depressed, he needs medicine every now and again, and oftentimes his eyesight isn't quite what it used to be. So I'd argue that Father is more vulnerable than Steven's dad. So overall, who wins the fight? We've gathered from this that the stats are basically tied. Father is more versatile, or rather has better weaponry, and arguably has better abilities. Meanwhile, Stevenhe's dad is more versatile and less vulnerable. So, who wins the fight? This matchup is unironically extremely debatable. Both of them have many similar abilities which cancel out. For example, both of them have the ability to break the fourth wall, and both of them have ability to travel through time and things like that. So even if Father uses his time travel to get away from Steven's dad still has ways of attacking him and outright traveling through time himself. There's also the fact that Steven's dad could resist having like shots of fire being blasted at him by father, and there are also some things like both of them can amplify their powers to become stronger than the other one. The only thing is the fact that Stephen He's dad's a way of getting stronger is limited, as there's only like so much amount of water he can drink, and also father has shown being able to get way stronger than Stephen's dad, as Stephen's dad can become 10 times stronger by drinking water, but father can become up to quintillions of times stronger by leveling up, although he does need outside help to quite reach that level in a fast amount of time. There's also the fact that if father can get access to the computer, then he could just give himself the powers needed to defeat Stephen's dad. Another major thing to bring up is the fact that Stephen's dad is very well capable of making father depressed, as his whole thing is being able to damage people emotionally, and considering the fact that father has been depressed a fair amount of times, he could very well just make him depressed and win the fight that way. He also has ways of getting around the speed being tied by being able to paralyze father in place. Father being able to send like Stephen's dad like into deep space as an issue, as he can breathe without, or rather exist without oxygen, and can also just time travel back. Both of them can summon people to them. However, it has been shown that father has better ways of summoning like actual people to help him fight, rather than Stephen's dad, who's just shown being able to, summon like a guitar to him. Father's also shown being able being better in like hand-to-hand combat, as while like Stephen's dad is skilled in weapons, father has outright shown being able to fight other people and come out on top, and also just outright has more weapons. His illusion creation is also something which should catch Stephen He's dad off guard, but overall, who would really win? It is hard to say. It all comes down to immortality. Now, we have went over that both of them are immortal, or at least can come back from death. However, Stephen He's dad is the only one that's shown being able to kill immortals. The only thing is, the only immortals he's shown being able to kill are people who are already dead, as there are multiple different types of immortality, and the types of immortals that Stephen He's dad is shown being able to kill is different from the immortal, like the type of immortal that father is. There's also the fact that Stephen's dad is only ever shown being able to come back from death once, whereas father's is shown to be much more reliable, and even being erased from existence wasn't enough to put him down. So I would argue that his immortality is more reliable that way. If you think Stephen He's dad is capable of killing his father despite his immortality, then I think Stephen He would win. And if you don't think that Stephen He's immortal, I think that father would eventually win if it was a fight to the death, especially when you consider the fact that while you could argue that Stephen He's dad does have resistance to reality warping, he hasn't really had to physically come across it, whereas Stephen, or rather father, outright has reality warping, if that makes sense, and also just has much more reliable ways of time travel and amplifying his powers. If you think that this is just a fight and it's not a fight to the death, I would argue that Stephen He's dad would win, and he's much more likely to just make father depressed and win that way. However, if it is a fight to the death, then it does become like an instance of what do you take their powers to be. If you think that Stephen He's dad isn't immortal, then father would just whittle him down and also just has abilities which Stephen's dad doesn't really have answers for. But if you both think that they're immortal, then it would basically be a stalemate. So this matchup is definitely very subjective as to who would win. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to like, subscribe. Make sure to check out my own videos based on the Breadboys and Stephen He, just so you know how powerful the other characters from their series. I just died. So you can check out how powerful their other abilities or other characters are on their YouTube channels, and I'll see you next time.